Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS. I'm Megaro 31. We'll be breaking down the 12-game slate for Wednesday, June 9th, starting at 7:05 p.m. And just like yesterday, half the games are rain threats. So for the format for the video is I'll give you pitchers and stacks. I'm not going to go game by game because I don't want you to get your hopes up and really like something that might not happen tonight. So again, you have to keep your eye on the forecasts and any postponement, and we'll do our line of construction at the end. So tonight, obviously, clear-cut top pitcher is going to be Garrett Cole against the Minnesota Twins. Banged up lineup. I know he's had some struggles here and there, but he's definitely one of the top pitchers in baseball. 11-2 is a high price for him, but I think definitely he's one that's going to come out. He's going to bounce back. He's going to have a really good game. So I think you're just going to lock him in as the SP1. Lance Lynn would probably be my second choice for pitcher tonight. He's going to be up against Toronto, heavy right-handed lineup, against Alex Manoah, who is 9-7 himself. But I don't, even though the White Sox are better against lefties, I think he's, kind of come back down to earth after having a couple really good starts to start out his career. I think people are starting to get a book on him. So I think the White Sox have some win equity and have Lynn's just been a really good pitcher against whoever he's been matched up against. So if you want to pair the two of these guys, there's some very cheap stacks that we can throw out there. Mid-range, there's not too much today. Yesterday we had 5, almost 6 really good options. So I think Griffin Cannon against the Kansas City Royals is the top option. He's at home. They have some, strikeouts still in this lineup. He's a right-hander, pretty much can. Santana's a switch hitter and Benintendi the lefty, but the bottom of this lineup definitely has some strikeouts in it. So I think if you want to go down, take a mid-range guy, he's one. And there's no weather in that game, so that's another factor. So yeah, Cole, Lynn, Cannon, no weather concerns, so they're all good to go. First weather guy that I'd consider would be Zach Eflin, ground ball pitcher. He's up against the Braves, who are a good hitting team, but have struggled at times. Philadelphia is a neutral hitting park, maybe favors hitters a little bit. It's not as, if he was pitching at the Mets ballpark or Tampa Bay, it'd be a bit better, but he's up against a pitcher who's probably going to get lit up by the Philly offense. So the win equity is there, 8-9. He's a little bit more expensive than Canning, who comes in at 8-4, but he's definitely a mid-range guy. Then the only other mid-range guy that I'd really consider, a little bit risky, but up against the Baltimore Orioles, a little bit of weather concern, only about a 50-60% chance of rain, so it's not like super, super high, would be Keyshawn Walker against the Orioles. I think tonight's going to be the night that you go high-low with pitchers because there's 4 guys in the low range that are actually not bad options. Yesterday we had that strong mid-range and really nobody low down, but tonight I really like these low guys. My favorite one is going to be Gomber against the Marlins. I watched him pitch against, I think it was Houston or Dodgers, a really good team in Coors Field, and just struck them out and really controlled them. He's up against the Marlins, who have some strikeouts. This lineup, it's a primarily, excuse me, it's in a Marlins park, which is a good pitching park. So I really like him. He's going to be my favorite SP2. It's going to help me get some bats in with Cole. It's I think it's a great matchup for him. On the other side of the game, probably the GPP, probably the lowest low pitcher I'd go out of the 4, so that he'd be number 4 out of the 4, is Braxton Garrett, who has had limited major league experience, but he's not an opener, but he's priced as one. He's 4K. He'll get 3, probably 4 innings, but this Rocky lineup, even if Trevor Story comes back, is still pretty bad. And really nobody that scares me here, especially, with how banged up they are. Right now, Daza, Fuentes, Kwan does have some power a little bit, but Hampson, Rogers, there's some strikeouts here. So definitely, if you can get through 3 or 4 innings, and maybe gives up a run or so, but probably gets some strikeouts and definitely hit some value. So if you're really trying to get some high price stacks in with Cole, I said he's definitely some place to go in GPP, but I'll pay the 2K up for Gomber. And then the other two are facing off against each other. It would be Mies and Flexen. Mies actually, for a Detroit pitcher, we picked on him early in the season, but he's really come around, and he gets against a Seattle team, which been no hit twice this season. Sometimes they struggle. The lefty bats is where he would struggle. So I know Crawford and Seager and maybe Long Trammell had a good spring, but really hasn't hit much. So they might throw out like a lefty heavy lineup. So I'd have to look and see what the lineup look is like before I take Mies, but I think he's going to probably get 18 to 20 DK points, and he's really done well against some teams that have are really good. And actually, as I look at the box score at Seattle, he just faced them on May 17th, and he almost put up 30 DK points. He had 29.6. He gave up 1 run. He got the quality start. He had 7 strikeouts. So definitely one to consider. So he'd be my number 2. And then on the other side of this, Flexen, because Detroit's always struggled. It's more of a GPP play, more contrarian play. At 6'4", he gets the Detroit bump here. And, he got lit up by Oakland last time out, but Texas, which is a team that struggles batting, he put up 29.35 DK points. 11 versus Cleveland, who struggles a little bit. He actually earlier in the season had a 26 versus Boston and a 23 versus San Francisco. Yes, he's had some negative scores, but they were against good matchups in some good hitting ballparks. So I think those are where we're going to go for pitching. For hitting, I think we're at the top stack, and this one doesn't have weather today. It's going to be Boston against Odorizzi. I really like I'm sorry, guys. Early in the morning recording this. Get the frog out of the throat. So definitely love these left-handed batters against Odorizzi. Santana switch hitter if he leads off, or Dugo. I'm not opposed to throwing Xavier and JD into the stack. Devers rounded off. I think that makes a really nice stack there. Second stack that I really like is going to be Philly today, up against this Brave pitcher. Love the righties here against them. Segura, Hoskin. I'll even take Harper, lefty and lefty there, Real Muto. Then you have to decide if you want to play McCutcheon, who is the right-hander. If he's down the order, maybe he'll lead off again, or Herrera, lefty and lefty at 3-5. So I think that's going to be the biggest choice in that lineup there. Cincinnati is in a good matchup again today, but this one has a huge weather concern. But Brett Anderson, hard contact, lefty there. So India, if he's leading off, Castellanos is probably one of the best plays on the slate at 4-5. I really don't like Votto. So lefty and lefty, I'm not going to play him there. But Suarez, Winker, I'm okay with that lefty-lefty matchup. So 4-5 Reds there if the weather holds up. Dodgers have another good matchup also against Pittsburgh and Tyler Anderson, especially the righties. So Betts, Turner, Taylor, Pujols, Pollock. They'll probably put all the righties up on the top of the lineup. Will Smith. So they have a 5.9 total. A little bit of rain scare there, so we'll just have to see. But it might be, take your soft pitchers more than hitters. So I like them. So those would be my cash stacks. For GPP, the Mets have been targeting Matt Harvey all along. The Mets are just super expensive here. Villar 5.3. Their prices if they're in Coors. Alonso 5.8. Dominic Smith 5.2. James McCann 5.3. It's crazy high pricing for the righties here. Lindor 4.7. So it works with the Cole and a low guy like Gomber stack, but it definitely GPP because I'm not paying those prices for him in cash. Milwaukee is another good matchup against Gutierrez. I think they're a cheap stack. We have some power potential against this guy. So Volgabach, Yelich, Navarro, Shaw, a nice little foursome there. But again, heavy rain possibly in the area. We're talking like 90%. So this is the one game that I don't know if it's going to play. But if for some reason we're talking like weather 12 hours out here. So if things change, then definitely stack to consider. Baltimore against the Mets. I know Walker was one of the mid-range pitchers, but he is at the point where he might show some regression. Definitely some of the lefties wouldn't go full stack. So Mullins, Santana, Galvis just continues to be hot and recently priced shortstop at 3.8. And then from my YOLO stacks, even though I said I like both of these cheap pitchers in the game, I could see stacking Seattle with a lefty lineup against Mies, and I could see taking these Detroit bats against Flexen. So I think that's where we're going to go today. So looking at lineup construction, if I throw in Cole and Gomber, that gives me a really decent amount left per batter. It gives me 4-1. So I don't think I'm going to punch catcher here if I go with the Philly stack. So I'll take Real Muto. I'll take Hoskins, which I was kind of backwards on them yesterday. I was really on Hoskins, and Real Muto was the one with the home run. Segura with the righty there, and Harper left and lefty. I'm fine. Then I said your choice is Herrera and McCutchen. If you take McCutchen, it leaves you below 3K per the batters. You can work it out, especially if you take a couple of Detroit guys. They work, and that actually leaves you a lot of salary left for third base, or you can balance it between them. So there's some options there. If you go for the Boston one, here's where you can take your cheap punt catcher. I know I said to take Win yesterday, and I was like, he wasn't in, it was the other catcher. So and sometimes these cheap catchers don't play even though they are projected to. You just gotta find the right guy. But been having pretty much successful just punting catcher this season. It looks like Engel might be, no, he's not a catcher, he's an outfielder. So it looks like Rogers versus Flexen or Goody. So either side of this Detroit game might have a really cheap catcher. You're going to have probably a Minnesota catcher at minimum price against Cole. So I don't know if you want to definitely against your pitcher. McGuire, Toronto, or whoever comes up there. So there's some options. So let's just throw in Goody just because he's 2-3. So if there's some catchers below him, then that leaves some salary. So that gives you 4-3-5. Not bad at all. So let's start plugging these Red Sox guys into the lineup and see if we can make it work here against Houston. And again, it's kind of nice you don't have to worry about the weather. We're kind of worried about the weather last night, and I think a lot of people are off Houston, but they did quite well in the game played. So we're going Santana, we're going Verdugo, we're going Devers. We'll throw in JD Martinez, and we'll throw in Bogart too. So we'll just do what the projected top 5 is, and that leaves you 3-3 for your second baseman and for your outfielder. Like I said, look at Detroit, look again at Seattle, look at Milwaukee for some cheap fill-ins there, and it should make a nice lineup for you. And like I said, if you want to go up and take the top 2 pitchers, so if you want to go Lynn, and that gives you 3-7. So it's definitely doable. Like I said, if this Milwaukee game plays, that's a great place to go, or stack the Detroit game and the Mariners, and I think you'll find enough value there to make a really nice lineup. So thanks for watching. Give us a like. We love when you put comments below. We try to get back to you as we see them to answer any questions. Really appreciate you guys watching and interacting with us. And if you want to reach out to me directly, hit me up on Twitter at MegaRuler31. So thanks again. Remember, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, recommend to a friend, and we'll see you next time.